At the end of it all, lately I've come to a crossroad in my life, a time of decision making and coming into alignment. God has continued to show me, and most of the time I can't stand it. I've come to appreciate it though. Let's be real. Who wants to be shown how far from perfect they are? Who wants to come face to face with their own flaws? I mean, I can write on everyone else's issues all day, but to come to the reality of my own shortcomings is a bit frustrating, to say the least. So why have I come to appreciate being shown my own flaws, you ask? Because in the midst of fighting my own self-disappointment and hate, God has managed to overwhelm me with his love. So many times in the Bible, God reminds us that he chastises those he loves. For the Lord disciplines those he loves, and he punishes each one he accepts as his child. Hebrews 12:6. For the Lord corrects those he loves, just as a father corrects a child in whom he delights. Proverbs 3:12. I correct and discipline everyone I love, so be diligent and turn from your indifference. Revelations 3:19. With that being said and confirmed in my heart, I began to examine myself and my reactions to what God was showing me. As God began to show me things and people around me and in me, I had a decision to make. Do I sit back and allow God to clip and separate me from those things, habits, and people? Or do I kick, scream, and complain and hold on with all my flesh to it all in fear of the unknown? 1 Peter 2:9 says, "But you are not like that, for you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, and God's very own possession. As a result, you can show others the goodness of God, for he called you out of the darkness into his wonderful light." We are to be set apart, and I think a lot of people take that as being alone or away from everyone. But God is really trying to show us that it's not that he wants us to be alone. God is simply trying to get us to be mindful of who and what we allow in our lives. Why? Because whether we see it or not, who or what we allow in our inner circle truly does affect who we are as people of God and can affect our work and ministry in the kingdom as well. God explained it to me like this. When we go to the doctor and they tell us to stay away from sweets and fatty foods, we don't always understand why, but we trust that the doctor knows what he or she is talking about. So we listen and trust that it will help our health. We trust that doctor understands our health to a point where they know that if we avoid those things, we can in turn avoid certain health issues in the future. My question is, if we can put so much trust in our doctors, why do we fight God so much when he shows us people, places, habits, attitudes, and things that we need to back up from or avoid? I mean, God is our creator. He created the doctors we see and gave them the wisdom they have to help us stay healthy. Yet we put more trust in our doctors, parents, and friends more than we do in the God who created them. At the end of it all, we will stand alone before God and give an account for the decisions that we've made. We can't say that we were scared, because that just means we didn't trust God enough to know he had the best intentions for us. We can't say we wanted to wait for yet another confirmation, because most of us get one confirmation after another, and because we just don't like what we hear, we'll ask for more in an effort to buy more time. We can't say we didn't know, because God is all-knowing and we'd be stupid to lie. All we can do is hang our heads knowing God showed us the truth and we chose not to accept it. Is it hard to live set apart at times? Of course it is. Some days we feel like we're all alone and we just can't seem to get a leg up. But God ultimately has a plan for each and every one of our lives. A great plan. It may feel like all hell is breaking loose and we're losing everything. But I'd rather lose it all now so I can gain all God has for me in his timing than to hold on to it with all I have and miss out on my God-given destiny. 1 Corinthians 2:9 says, "Eyes have not seen, nor ears heard, nor have entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for those who love him." We can't even fathom the greatness God has in store for us. So is it worth the temporary pain we're enduring? Letting go of it all? Yes. I'll give up my attitudes, tear down my walls, let go of those people, places, and things that I love so dearly if it brings me one step closer to a destiny I can't even imagine in Christ. At the end of it all, that's what it's all about, right? Pleasing God and giving Him the glory for it all. Until next time, be blessed.